All right, really cold morning. It was predicted to be 11 degrees overnight. We read online that it got to be -5 down in town. I don't think it got that cold here, but it's still really cold. Today's task is to cut up some wood for our fire. We have been, for the last year, stacking mill cutoffs from our sawmill into stacks sort of over here in the woods. They get a little bit of snow and rain, but really not very much. And we put flatter boards across the top so that they don't get too wet. So they get pretty tall. So behind me you'll see a couple stacks of wood and then this rack that I built to help cut them up. And so we're going to stack up a bunch of wood, take it inside, have a nice fire. The features of this wood rack are as follows. I have spaced these out to be 14 inches apart. That's about the biggest thing I can stick in my stove comfortably. And the legs are a little bit wider at the base than they are at the top so that it doesn't tip over. And the most important thing is there's a stop on this side. As the chain moves through, it pulls these tight up against this bunk so that they don't fly off. It's really hard to cut small loose pieces of wood because the chain, as it moves through, just wants to fling them all around, makes them go sideways and stuff. But this is nice because I can actually pass the bar all the way through the wood into this little cavity beneath here, and they're spaced out just correctly to get the same size board over and over. It makes the wood stack a lot more easily and it makes it go in the fire like a cinch. All right, so we're up against a kind of a problem today. We've just picked up 2,400 pounds of hay last night, and we're going to try to get it into the cow pen. Now, we've never loaded this type of bale before. They're really big. They're half a ton each. So we're going to try to pull the trailer right up against the fence and push them over to get them inside the cow pasture. We don't have a gate in the cow pasture big enough to drive the trailer into, and we don't have a tractor big enough to just pick these things up and drop them. So we're gonna have to be creative and hopefully be safe. Now, I don't have a hay spike or any proper equipment to move these big bales, and so you might ask, hey, why'd you buy such big bales? Well, that's a great question. We had a pretty severe drought this summer in the area, and hay is rare. It's at a bit of a premium. And instead of being able to buy small bales that we can kind of handle just with our hands, all that was really left in areas that we can get hay is large bales. So ideally they'd be like 500 pounds and we could kind of strap them to the tractor and throw them over, but these are just much heavier. So we're going to just try to get them, and the goal is just get them inside that fence line. It doesn't really matter where they are, as long as they're inside the fence line so the cows can get to them. We were a little bit worried about crushing our fence, and so Gabriel came up with this idea. We had these ramps that go to the trailer, and we just made a little A-frame and strapped them together. So hopefully, between that and the fact that we've got that H-frame in the end, it's going to keep this from crushing the fence. Yeah, good idea.
Whoa! Hold it there. Hold it there. You got two left along the way, I think. I think I get you on there. Whoa! It's sliding. You hear it? I like it right here. Okay. Whoa. Okay, here we go. The 2x4's gone. Okay, here we go. That's one. Okay. Block. Get it?
That first bale went over just fine. Actually, almost exactly what I pictured. The second bale, not so much. We tried several different angles on it. It's really heavy. And I'm afraid I'm gonna break my fence post. So we're gonna actually take that bale apart and try to get it into as big a chunks as possible and make a little, what do you call it, like a little hay crib for the loose stuff that we can't get picked up in one piece, and just go about it a little bit slower. So we're gonna try to break this into quarters that we can lift with a tractor. And the way we're gonna do that is throw a strap down, take a quarter of it, lay it on the strap, try to tie it up, and then hopefully the tractor can just pick that up and set it over top. See how that works.
Wow, I really thought that come apart easier. The missing string right there in the center. Yeah, I can see it here because it's popping out everywhere else, but not in the center right there.
You know what we need?
No.
Need some dry gloves.
Oh.
Be much warmer.
There you go.
More like it.
That is more like it. Found the trailer.
Found the trailer. Found where there's a hole in the trailer. I stepped right through the hole.
Oh, nice.
Is that gonna work?
I think so.
To say the least, this day is making me kind of mad.
It doesn't look like it.
Clutch ready?
Yeah, I tied
You
it.
tied it to the trailer.
So that strap went all the way around the bale and around the I-beam. So yeah, I could lift that whole trailer. But instead, I'm gonna go eat lunch. Well, today was, in a word, frustrating. We spent hours getting that hay put into smaller sections and moved to where it needed to be, but it had to be done. In the future, we will definitely have to think ahead and get more manageable bale sizes while we have it. We are about 5 or 6 days from the beginning of winter official, which is depressing because I happen to know that we get a lot more rain and snow at the end of the winter than the beginning of the winter. We got maybe 6 inches in the last 24 hours. That's a lot. I mean, that's not a lot of snow, but it makes everything you're doing that much harder. We had trouble with the tractor today, having trouble walking down this road right now. So why don't you just stand still when you talk to the camera, Brendan? I don't know, I just can't stand still. It's just my thing. So one of the things that makes hard is moving logs. We need to mill a bunch of logs for some new projects that we're working on. And they're really hard to move when they're covered in snow because they stick together and the tractor doesn't work so well. But all in all, it could have been worse. It was a good day in that we were safe and we accomplished our goals. Nothing broke. We didn't have to do anything stupid or dangerous to get where we needed to be. So that's good. Anyhow, thank you for joining us on today's journey. For what it's worth, we're glad you're with us. It's fun to share a little bit of our story with people who are far away or people who are interested in just what it's like to live on acreage and take care of animals and get them fed and get them stocked up for winter. By the way, that's nowhere near enough hay. That's about maybe 4 weeks worth of hay. We have some more stored, but not enough. So we'll be doing a little bit more hay in the future, but thank you for joining us and we'll see you on the next one. The plans for this wood rack are available online at screw6boardstogether.com. Check it out. I made that up. There's no plans for this. Just screw some boards together until it looks like this.